Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Last Epoch podcast with the Maxroll Mafia. Today we have Vision GL with us. Tarek is busy working, and as always, the usual suspects, Volk and Bin, are here with me. Say hello, guys.
Hello, hello. And by the way, fix my cam. I think there's something hiding my face at the moment.
Trying to hide.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm trying to hide behind the Discord thing. Okay.
This was
hello,
a
hello.
test.
What's up?
This was a test. I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that you guys were paying attention to the quality of this broadcast. So
Holy.
Maxroll Mafia Volka doing shady stuff again.
Yeah. That's why I was hiding behind the thing because I was, trying to hide myself. That's how it is.
Makes sense, Volka has to hide. He's ashamed of his practices.
Yes. You can't like shine light on them. They're so shady. So yeah, that's how it is.
Well, hello, welcome everyone back. Hello, Vision. Introduce yourself for those who don't know you.
What's up, guys? I'm Vision GL.
That's insane. For those who don't remember, Vision is one of the OG. He's also part of the Maxroll team. He used to organize all the team tournaments and all the community events. And to be honest, Vision is probably the reason we all know each other. No, kind of like it's kind of like he used to be the social hub. Call him. Elon Musk. Maybe he is like the social guy.
What?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
Bro, that was like the worst comparison ever.
okay, I'm not gonna
Call
lie.
him Elon Musk. What is this?
But I think what Elisa was trying to say, we used to have these like races by, organized by Vision, and it kind of like brought together the community, and it was like nice times back in the days. And people got to know each other.
The analogy was probably bad. I apologize. Well,
I
good
think you're
to have
working
you
on
here.
some new community events. No, Vision? Are you? You're working on stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I think we're gonna dive into that a bit in this podcast. But yeah, we've got some tournament tech that we've been working on, and those should be coming back. Actually, there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of different kinds of events now. Also,
Yeah, I guess
Insane.
once we talk about it, if people wanna drop some comments or give some feedback on what would they like to be part of and stuff, I think that would be very useful for Mr. Vision too. So yeah. On another topic, Maxroll related too. This is the daily ad block for Bina to advertise his filters. This is the sponsor of this video, Bina Blade. Do you want to talk a bit about the new filters?
Yeah, I mean, you could go check on the planner. So basically, now I've been working a lot on this. Like, I've been at work for more than 2 weeks on this. And now if you click the loot filter button, you have different levels of strictness for filters. It's related to any Maxroll guide, any Maxroll build planner, whether it is one of your favorite content creator or your own creation as well. It takes into account all of the different sets, the different variants of the build that you make. And basically, there's like regular, which is like leveling, and then you got strict, which is like a start of empowered monos, and it goes progressively up to giga strict, which is based for like basically multi-exalt imprint farming and just like super efficient, right? Designed for maximum efficiency. So I've been working very hard on this. It will filter all the the uniques that you don't care about. Like 99% of the work is already done for you with this filter, so long as you have a build planner. So all the very rare uniques will still show, like all the 4 LPs, of course, they're going to show. The 3 LPs that are like really rare are always going to show as well. The same for the 2 LPs. But it just cuts out anything that is like too common that would just be some useless junk in your stash. And so for there's still a few rules that you might want to modify though. Something like the rules for like the turtle. So you might want to still see a lot of 1 LPs of the items that you're looking for. So those you can add them here. But anything included in the planner, whether it is uniques, set affixes will automatically fetch the sets for those affixes as well. Champion affixes, experimental affixes, everything included in the planner will be automatically pulled into different sets of rules that are very comprehensive. And there's also, I just released a video explaining the filter entirely. And also there's an understanding Maxroll loot filter article that is linked in every single build guide as well. You can find it in the resource post on Maxroll. Basically, this does 99% of the job for you. And then all you have to do is put in your uniques that you want, if there's any other for other builds, and add in any extra affixes that you might want. It will show at the highest level of strictness, basically, the exact base that you want, automatically fetched from the planner, the exact affixes that you want. Pretty much like everything is done except for stuff for other builds. It is not an MG filter. It's a COF filter, or more like it's a filter for people who want to find gear for their builds. And it's not really a filter that is tailored to MG, because Merchants Guild don't care about your build. They care about what sells. And you have to, until we have an API that automatically fetches all the prices, I can't really just keep updating it for MG.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be, I'm really looking forward to some feedback on this. Please give me feedback, whether it is on the Maxroll Blue Discord, or on my Discord, on my channel, on my Twitch channel, YouTube comments, whatever. Yeah, please let me know.
Yeah, this to comment also that this does only work for planners that you make, or for the guides that we have. It also works with the community planners that are shared. So if you go, for example, for this one by Karn, and you wanted to make a loot filter, or you wanted to follow his build, for example, you could still generate these filters with the same generation. So this is not only for builds done by the creators of Maxroll. This is available basically to any content creator or anyone who wants to share their build, and they don't want to spend time making a filter. It's very time consuming. This is a very, 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 very good starting point. In fact, it's probably better than anything that you will make yourself, realistically, right? Because you already have all these settings that you can just with a single click do, right? Pretty good.
Yeah, it's made like even people who like to do their own filters, like you could just start with I think the very strict version is a really, really strong starting point from a planner, and then with minor adjustment you can just tailor it to your personal preferences if you want. I think it's going to be, I mean, it's the filter I will be using, and it's the filter I'm using, and I think I honestly think this is like the best we have currently for last Epoch. If there's something else that is better, please let me know and I'll make some adjustments. But this is kind of insane for me to be able to fetch everything directly from a planner with certain conditionals. Do you have experimental affixes on your gear? If so, there's like a rule that will find you any experimental item with a tier 7 on it as well, so you can root of havoc into your experimental affix. Like there's stuff like that will show if you have certain things on your planner, and if you don't have an experimental affix, that rule will just not show up at all. So there's some really cool tech that we can do with these filters, and yeah, I can't wait to keep updating these, as now I have the opportunity to make some changes very, very quickly without relying on anyone else, which was not the case prior to this day. So yeah, pretty good.
And my understanding is that we currently have an internal tool ourselves to merge filters that eventually will be released to the public, so people can generate one filter file from one of the builds they're playing. And let's just say they also want to be gearing one of their alts, right? They could generate a filter and then merge them and basically have a mega filter, right?
A mega filter, holy.
Yeah, the main rules that you would want to merge would be like maybe some idols for other builds, and maybe your like your turtle rule and your unique rules that you want to find. Because maybe you select, I don't know, like 50 uniques you kind of want to play with, depending on your build that you're playing with. For everything else, it would, yeah, it's pretty easy to adjust on the fly. So right now we don't have it. It's in the works. It will be released in a beta version, most likely very soon, but it's out of my control. We're working on it. If you want to find one right now, there are some other ones out there for sure. So just a quick Google search of last Epoch loot filter merger, and until we have our own, you can there are some other ones out there.
Cool. Nice. The ad is
Okay.
done now. And from now on, like the non-sponsored version of the podcast continues. Thank you, Vina, for the ad segment. Jokes aside, I think it's important to talk with this. I think a lot of people have struggled with filters, or they're even lazy to start a new build just thinking about making a filter. So hopefully this, encourages you to still play Last Epoch, to still have fun, and to don't miss on any loot. So thank you, Bina.
All right, Giga. GG.
Giga filter. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Giga. Cool.
I hesitated to name the last one Giga filter, but yes, I guess it
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, you need to add some like personal touch. It's a
Yeah,
nice touch,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
It's
You know, I
called
try to make it as
Giga.
close to like what Never Sing has with Filter Blade, but
Yeah.
Uber plus strict didn't sound right to me. Giga strict sound pretty Last Epoch for me.
Yeah, and
agree.
that one is actually so strict that even I think even none of us is gonna use it. Even it's so
No.
strict. Right? So, yeah.
It's only for real mafia,
True. Yeah.
It's like for the people who want to like min-max one build to the ultimate max, and you only care about double tier 7, triple exalts,
Yeah.
like stuff like
Yeah.
that. And that's the only thing you want to see, and you want to speed farm.
Cool. So the last time we spoke, the patch was still pretty fresh, right?
Mhm.
And there wasn't too many changes to what we considered was the meta and the tier list and all that. And after the patch has been played a bit, people have experimented. People have taken builds to the extreme. I think that the landscape has reshaped slightly. I don't think anything drastic has changed, but there is some new builds that are coming into play. We've seen more builds kill over Abaroth. We can maybe do a bit of a refresh on the list, and you guys, we took a look at the tier list, right? And well, there's been some movements. Do you guys want to talk about them a bit and explain a bit
So
why?
we did do an update on all of the tier lists. Like you said, it's nothing like insanely major, but some things moved up. So some of the things like Shield Bash is 1 tier higher, for example. So you can see those on the tier list. But then we also added some new builds, Javelin, Time Rot, and also Lightning Blast Rune Master is coming up soon as well. But overall, we were like quite correct with the tier list, even pre-season. But some small changes there, basically, just like optimizing a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes like the difference between tiers is not that great. For example, like the difference between like the top of A tier and the bottom of S, or the top of B and the bottom of A, very hard sometimes to like really pinpoint. Okay, yes, this build is definitely A tier, or this build is definitely B tier. But like the margin is so little sometimes that it's hard to like really accurately put them in tiers. And of course, tier lists are always subjective to the people that are making them, right? So I think that's pretty important to note. But I think everything in S and A are definitely some things that are 100% recommended builds by the team, right?
Yeah, definitely. And when you said subjective, of course, if you check the bossing tier list, that is, I would say, the least subjective, because it's mainly just DPS, so it's just numbers-based tier list, the bossing one. So on that one, we had almost no changes, because I mean, there's nothing to change. We just added the new things there. But other tier lists are more subjective, though.
Yeah, there's some interesting takes with it that I see sometimes going around where, this build does way more damage. Yes, of course, if you ignore, all your defenses, and then you just build full damage everywhere, and like no crit avoidance, nothing like that, right? Then you just altering the items and your priorities on items will change the DPS that your build does, right? So keep in mind that these tier lists are based around having like a balanced version of builds, most likely. So I think we also have a disclaimer at the top, but sometimes you might see a video. Oh, this guy is killing Uber Abaroth in like 2 minutes, and the Maxroll build puts it in, I don't know, like A tier or B tier or whatever it is. And yeah, just keep in mind comparing different gear setups. like double tier 7 offensive affixes versus one tier 7, one tier 5 can have a big impact on the
Yeah,
build's
it can
power.
double your damage in some builds,
Yeah.
right? And that's another thing that I kind of what I wanted to say too, Bina. But it's like one of the reasons we do a lot of our testing offline when actually testing these builds and trying to give accurate representation on what the builds do. One of the reasons is really helpful to do it that way is because we can actually test with the same level of equivalent gear without relying on RNG and things like that, right? And again, we test all the planners on the endgame planner setup. And if we take a look at, for example, the Racing Strike, you will see that an endgame setup is actually pretty obtainable, right? You know, it's just one LP, one tier 7. This is gear that, you know, most people will be able to get. And the change, the difference between going to endgame to aspirational when you start having 3 LPs and 2 LPs, and you know, you can get those items, and people do get those items, and some builds ramp with items better than others, especially those that, for example, get damage multipliers through a specific stat or whatever. You're not just, you know, getting an extra 8 strength for that build. It's not just getting a bit of extra increased damage. It's actually getting the increase plus the multiplier plus the armor plus this plus that. So some builds just ramp harder than others. So it's important to mention that when you make a tier list, you have to judge the builds by the same level of gear. That's why in competitions there's weight categories and there's this kind of things, right? You need to make sure that you're judging the builds with the same level of investment. Otherwise, you get very unreliable information, which is what you were talking about, right? Like, oh yeah, can you kill like can you kill Uber Aberoth in like 3 minutes with a Stygian coil? Well, yeah, if you have tier 7 double LP everywhere, sure you can, but that's not what most people are gonna have, and that's not gonna be useful for them on the tier list. So that's why we like comparing them to each other with the same level of gear. So it's actually accurate, no?
Yeah, and like you said, getting the end game planner gear it's quite like very reasonable to get. It's mostly 1 LP stuff, so you will get it if you play a bit for sure.
And this is another interesting topic: is Uber Aberoth buyability, right? Because obviously people been playing the Maxroll builds, right? People been playing a Racing Strike, people been playing Crows, people been playing Umbral Blades, people been playing all of these crazy builds, and obviously with those builds they're getting crazy gear, right? And then they're feeding that crazy gear into builds that then can kill Uber Aberoth, which is obviously really cool and really impressive regardless. But would you be able to kill Uber Aberoth without getting that gear from a previous or a main Uber Aberoth killer? It's basically what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah. So something like getting the Uber gloves, for example, really helps some builds a lot. I mean, it helps if you get hit. I mean, obviously, if you don't get hit, I mean, who cares about the tankiness, right? But I mean, many people do get hit, and they actually, it's going to be an easier fight with the extra tankiness that you kind of get for free.
I think that's a good segue into COF versus Merchants Guild. Like, Merchants Guild, those items from Uber Aberoth are just really available, basically.
Yeah.
You know, Immortal Vise, it's no big deal. Everyone gets it. You just go on the market and boom, you buy it, and then you haven't interacted once with Uber Aberoth, but you get the loot from it. Whereas COF, where you have to go and kill Uber Aberoth to get those items. It's kind of 2 different worlds for these mainly these specific items, because Uber Aberoth is just way harder than anything else in the game.
Yeah, and I guess it's important to say that we are very COF focused. I guess that's how we play the game. That's how we understand the game. The moment you introduced an economy and everything that comes with it, legal and unlegal, right? You can't really try to, you know, portray builds powers like that, because, you know, there's a lot of variants that you can't really control. So again, can you kill? For example, there was a guy in my chat who has killed Uber Aberoth on Blade Dancer, which is a pretty impressive achievement. It's like a 8-minute long kill, and he's wearing double tier 7 everywhere, full Uber Aberoth items, double LP stuff, double tier 7s, and it's like a really cool kill. But you know, you have to take that into consideration, right? Like what for that build to perform at an 8 level kill, you know, which is would
Yeah.
considered a pretty slow kill, right? For what's available. If you had that same level of gear on an erasing strike, you're killing it in 1 minute, right? Or
Yeah,
even on a judgment, right?
yeah, for sure. I mean, the funny thing is, I've been doing a lot of Uber Aberrot lately, in the past week, and I've been doing like very like strict end game planner, except for Heartseeker. For that one, you need a bit more, but like very strict end game planner, like no Uber Aberrot items and stuff like that. I really enjoy the fight, so like Heartseeker is very fun. It takes about 10 minutes or so, and you can't get hit by anything. So like you can do it on more builds than just the meta builds. But why would you? You know, for most people, they don't care. They just wanna do it easy. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of the in ARPGs, you want to like kind of like outgear the fights to make them easier. Like this is not like a MOBA or something where you're just like full player skill. Usually ARPGs are somewhat like simple to play, and you just it's about optimizing your farm and your gear and your progression, your character's power. So yeah, and like another comparison, like COF versus MG, I just like I was thinking about it. It was like, you know, COF is kind of like a bodybuilder competing in a natural category, like eating his chicken and broccoli and his protein shakes, and then Merchants Guild is like people like competing for Mr. Olympia and like taking steroids and getting jacked and like really quick. It doesn't mean that it's not hard work. It's still hard work, but you have that extra push to like help you reach those like very very high levels of power really quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a good analogy. Yeah, or that's interesting.
And not only that, but you as a competitor, as someone who's trying to get these items. Like again, I was watching this video by Frozen Sentinel, and he went MG, expecting like, oh, I'm just gonna play MG, get my gear, blah blah blah. And then what happened is that he reached the MG plateau, which is like this. Theoretically, it shouldn't exist, but it does exist because many reasons. We don't need to speculate, but there might be a few exploits. There might be a bit of PayPal here and there, but it's like the items you want to buy, they don't even exist, and then you start getting paranoid. Like, bro, like I have the gold, the item that I want to buy is not buyable. People are not selling it. There's these discords going on. There's all of these things, and again, it's like the same analogy. Like you're going into this competition where everyone is taking steroids, and then you're wondering, okay, but maybe this guy has like crazy sponsor behind him, and he has a diet that costs $10,000 a month. And here I am taking a bit of testosterone, and I'm supposed to compete versus this fucking Russian Hulk, Yeah,
This guy has stem cells, everything injected, and
it's not a good. I don't. I think it can be very frustrating, and COF has its limitations for sure. But I feel like for me, the fact that I don't have to be comparing myself or thinking what others are doing, the fact that I can just live in my bubble, and I don't have to worry what others are doing, if there's RMT, if there's a gold loop. I just focus on my journey. It gives you such a peace of mind, I think, in this kind of game. It's I don't know. I think picking MG is like as crazy, at the moment.
I think it's an interesting take because like MG, for example, like MG and COF are two good factions. You can reach very similar levels of power on both. If you like trading and only like filtering for items not for you, but that you want to just sell on the market and buy your gear, if that's what you like, you go MG. If you'd like to find your gear, you go COF. But one thing I want to point out is that Last Epoch was built on the fact that they expected people to find everything in Last Epoch on their own. The game was designed in offline, solo player. So it was designed for SSF, and MG is only an addition to that. So if you compare, for example, like Path of Exile, which is designed with trade, and there's an added SSF faction, mode. Last Epoch is the complete opposite. Some people ask me sometimes, Bina, what is a good build for SSF in Last Epoch? What can I start on SSF? Well, you can start whatever you want. It's like every single build in the game is designed to be able to get to be farmed and geared for and progress on your own. You don't need trade for anything in this game. Like every single build is playable in COF.
It's actually
agree?
also pretty interesting what you're talking about, because you made me think. Because a lot of in games like Path of Exile, like a lot of people go trade, because then you have easy access to like meta items because they're cheap or whatever. That's what they became meta and stuff. And then people play these builds that just get online very easy, boom, 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 right? But it's funny that in LE, because a lot of the meta, to be honest, is being shaped by people like us and people who do a lot of pre-work, and the people who really understand the game, and they can tell you, hey, this is good, this is not good. It's funny because I actually think if you're playing a meta build, you're probably better off now in COF, because a lot of what makes a meta build in LE is how easy some of these items and these power spikes are easy to get. Again, we were talking about Erasing Strike. You take a look at these items, right? On the endgame planner, Anchor is a boss drop, Anguish is a boss drop, Flames of Midnight is a boss drop, World Splitter is a boss drop, Nihilis is a boss drop. And you have all of these items that COF is like giga buffing you to get it pretty easily. And again, getting a 1LP or a 2LP World Splitter is very, very, very doable on either, right? COF or MG. But if you actually want to get like more than that, these items don't exist in MG, or they're being sold by real money or whatever. And in COF, like you kind of like already reached the ceiling anyway of what's realistic. So you're basically kind of plateauing very similarly. Funny enough. And
Popular builds in MG cost so much. Like meta
Exactly.
builds, all of the items, even trash items for popular builds, cost like really a lot of gold. Whereas in COF, you just get them, right? There's no limit to what you want to play. If you play off meta stuff, then sure.
Yeah, MG is really good then.
Really nice because you get everything for free. But then again, there's a downside to this. Like I've played MG for the longest time, and this is my first season where I play COF. And in MG, you just gear up one character, you farm with this character, you're rich, and then once you're rich, you just buy everything for another character. You have like no real sense of progression compared to like COF. I mean, of course, there is some sense of progression, but like you just buy everything, you level another character, you equip your items, you're OP, and you're like,
and you stop. Yeah.
Why am I doing this? I'm already OP. What am I looking for? I already have all my items, and then just I'll play next season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, like buying Uber items, like it's like buying like what's the point? You buy the price already, so you don't even have to do the actual fight. Like what?
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like I think the cool thing about, and obviously this is completely subjective, right? And if you're
we're not MG shaming here. We're not MG
exactly.
Shaming.
Like if you like being efficient and making gold and buying your items and printing, like that's completely fine. But I don't know, maybe we're a bit more old school. And I feel like it's so important for me to have this journey of like, oh, I will only get this item when I deserve it, like, I don't know. I think it's being able to bypass like big difficulty checks or achievement checks. It's kind of dangerous, no? Because you like, again, why play, no?
I think a good thing that Last Epoch does is that it doesn't use crafting materials for currency. So you are incentivized to actually craft and use your crafting currency. So that's why finding stuff for you works way better, and then trade feels worse. Whereas in PoE, for example, you basically don't really want to craft. You just want to trade. You just want to like that's like money. You just want to buy stuff with your crafting materials, but you're not really using them because only the people who craft at the highest level are going to be using them efficiently. Yeah. And if you use them for like crap items, then you're essentially like throwing money out of the window. Whereas in Last Epoch, you are incentivized to always craft with your materials and find more materials and craft more, and then you sell the items themselves. So I think that's one of the big reasons why SSF works so well in Last Epoch, actually.
What are you playing, Vision? Are you playing MG? Are you playing COF? What are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm playing COF. Every time I play Merchant's Guild, I pretty much immediately regret it within the first week. But yeah, I'm doing COF. I'm playing hardcore, and right now I'm messing around with Umbral Blades.
Oh, I saw your paladin died.
Yeah. And it's I have the Uber Aberoth Echo ready, but the character is too under geared, and I don't want to start re-gearing in softcore, so I'm just gonna do it again, like on maybe another Judgment character eventually.
Dude, that's another cool thing, like the hardcore thing, bro. Like it's like, for example, red rings, right? We're talking about how like red rings are in COF. You basically can get them a lot. But for example, if you play hardcore, like I lost 2 leeches, right? Which they were levels 80 or something, right? But both leeches had both red rings with LP, right? Like I lost 4 red rings with tier 7 int or whatever, and that meta sense of like, oh man, like I had this investment, I had this, these characters had to this mission for me, which is to farm this and this, and now I lost it, right? And I have to backtrack, and I don't know, I feel like I've been hearing some content creators saying that they're kind of done with the patch and stuff. I feel like I haven't even started.
Yeah, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
my to-do list is getting just longer,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
actually.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think hardcore is kind of different.
yeah.
In that regard. Yeah, I lost another character to a DC again.
Oh,
Uh,
that's sad.
So I mean that sounds very different. Yeah, United DC. Maybe not the best example, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's we don't talk
This
about
rogue,
that. Yeah.
I lost red rings too.
Oh
I
no.
mean,
this rogue that I started to level, I got it to Keeper's Camp, and I equipped all my legendaries for leveling,
Oh
and I like
no.
filled my inventory with the next 50 levels of stuff I was going to equip. And I took one step outside of Keeper's Camp, and the very first pack of plant enemies, level 3, I desynced and lost everything.
Oh
It was
no.
pretty brutal.
Oh
So I'm like
shit.
oh,
restarting fresh all my leveling stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's the one part that it sucks,
although I will say it's like this patch is like LE is in a better state than ever before in terms of stability.
Yeah.
I haven't had that many problems except, I mean, I guess I got 2 DC deaths, but
Mm.
like when I compare it to some of the previous patches that we had, I think they're always making progress and it's better than it ever was. Basically,
Even performance wise, right? Like I feel like it's
yeah.
much
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Like like
Actually, the game runs so well now, so it's kind of crazy. Like it was so
especially in
bad
comparison.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Um it's funny that we talk about the red rings, just to close up on the MG topic, but apparently still to this day you still can't buy red ring with LP in MG. They literally are not listed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we drop so many of them. We don't even care. It's like a penny on the ground. Somebody in chat said. I think like it's like who cares? You know?
Which kind of sideways into the next topic, which is the imprints, right?
Yeah.
I got a feeling that most of the people who are mad about the imprints are MG people, because, for example, for something like red rings and something like these like really like rare items that you can't even buy because it's not even worth for the owner to sell it because of the gold cap and so much gold in the economy, blah blah blah. Like again, if for COF, the fact that you cannot imprint red rings anymore, I mean, you can still get one every 200k favor in prophecies. And again, at the level we are right now with the characters we have by now, even on hardcore, 200k favor is like a couple hours of gameplay anyway, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
you're
Have
basically.
you tried the imprints after the nerf? Well, after
Uh,
the bug fix, technically, because it's not a nerf, it's a bug fix.
uh,
But it did
that's
nerf
kind of
it.
what I want to talk it about. I don't know, maybe get some impressions by you guys. I have basically completely switched from imprinting uniques, and I have switched to exalteds, because I do feel, reading the patch notes and reading how it's actually meant to function, it does seem like the imprints are either meant to help you get items a first time, right? Kind of like as an extra rune of ascendance kind of vibe, where you put a ring, you wanna Ocearon, and eventually, you're playing, and eventually you drop it, and oh, nice, I got it, and then you can switch, right? It's kind of like a head start. And then it does really seem that for the end game, they're kind of focused on exalts, with all the, the lines they change for fortune potential, right? The fact that you're gonna be able to get more fortune potential even if you imprint something with low potential. It definitely seems to be like the imprints are exalt focus. And obviously, I think this requires a shift in mentality, right? Because we were printing red rings. Okay, now that doesn't seem to work that much anymore, right? We don't even know how exactly imprints work, so everything we like, again, I refrain myself for doing any guide about imprints because since they released, I feel like nobody really knows what's intended
Some
and what's
stuff
not.
that we know that I think Mike said, corruption works on imprints. They've buffed the forging potential stuff, so even like a very low forging potential has a higher chance of rolling higher potential. So now they basically bridge the gap between like the super low and the super high. So the ceiling is not higher, but like they bridge the gap for it. It tries to drop you a similar item, so it could like chaos and affix into something else. It could drop you on another base. It could drop you on a similar base. Like it's basically trying to get you as close as possible to your item that you're looking for. So always imprinting the item that is closest to the one that you want should be best. But yeah, we still don't have any data mine or anything like that about all of the intricacies of it.
Yeah, the base seems to matter. I have a couple 4LP peaks of the mountain for my Falconeer. I have basically imprinted like a specific, like the stand base rogue helmet that has a tier 7 dexterity with tier 7 crit avoidance or something. I don't know. It's like a very good imprint, right, with 60 potential or whatever. And I actually have dropped that very similar helmet a couple times since the nerf, since the fix rather. So
yeah, the fix was only for uniques, right?
I mean, apparently they have slightly that has slightly affected Exalteds too. But I mean, what do we know? It could be placebo as far as like there's no real data. I feel.
I mean, we did know, I mean, we did kind of know that the base matters and the affixes matter, and the fortune potential matters, and also apparently the legendary potential also
And
matters. So like Weaver's will, like like anything that's on the item matters pretty much for the imprint. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like, honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I see all of this. While they were dropping items, like they were dropping them before the fix, I thought they were way too broken, personally.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was fine. It was fine. It was like the way to, like, slight power creep, but like it's a good way for MG to get those items once you get your first one. It was like, I don't know. I personally thought it was fine, but
I actually kind of find it funny because in MG I think it was even worse than in COF. Because for MG, what happens is, like, let's just say you are the lucky person that without prophecies, you drop a red ring, right? So then that item you can imprint for yourself and you can sell it, right? But if the person who buys it cannot do the same, because it's gonna have the cannot be traded attack, and that inherits on imprints.
Yeah.
So it actually created a situation where rich get richer, kind of. And I don't know if you kind of want that on a especially with the philosophy that the devs have, where, like, you know, there's no flipping and there's no. They definitely want to avoid this, right? They want items to kind of like trade hands and then that's it, and that's the trade, right? So if you have someone who's just like printing a red ring every 2 hours, and he can sell them, right, or she, and nobody else can do that, and everyone else is buying from that person. I don't know. That sounds like a monopoly to me, no?
I mean, everyone has access to the same drop chances. Like, I guess it's getting lucky, you know, like it's part of ARPGs. You just get lucky, same as the first person who finds a headhunter, a mage blood, or whatever.
But I mean, there's quite a difference between, you get lucky once, now you can print it every hour and a half, versus you never get lucky. That's a big,
Yeah, maybe every hour is a bit much. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we do have the Reddit post from Trasochi, the EHE lead dev. There's a link in chat. You can open it.
Let's see. We have the Trasochi Giga info. For those who don't know, Trasochi is Holly from the podcast they did. Basically, Trasochi is the brain, of a lot of these systems in LA. The person who basically knows the game probably the most when it comes to this kind of shit. As far as we know, is
Yeah.
the
But
brain
this
of
is
the
just
game.
repeating the patch notes, and they say at the bottom that they have discussed reducing the drop rate internally, but they haven't done anything. So she just says that it's not they did not nerf anything intentionally. If anything is bugged, it's a bug. And then they just made it able to drop other unique items like they said in the patch notes.
So
Th-
so Exalted shouldn't be getting affected at all from before. It's based on this statement.
No,
right?
except for like the forging potential stuff and
Which is a
yeah.
buff, right?
Yeah, which is a buff. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
no, actually, the imprints of exalted item can result in drop of uniques as well. So like technically, it's
Okay.
like it can drop now. It can really drop like similar item in more ways than before. But yeah.
Okay, so my understanding then is that if you were printing an Exalt with like many thingies, if it procced, it could only be an Exalt with many thingies. Now it can be an Exalt with many thingies and a unique of the same type, which basically
Yeah.
lowers the times
Yeah.
that you get
Or a
something
set
that you
item
actually
even.
won. Okay.
Manga.
It's all about numbers, no? Like it's hard to get a conclusion without knowing what the actual, like, to be honest, it's kind of even hard to know when these are proccing because you have so much loot anyway, and you have like extra exalts on this and that and the Weaver tree. You're dropping a pile of exalted.
You know what this is?
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is every day you give your kids dessert, and then you tell your kids you're gonna get one dessert per week now instead of every day.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
not gonna be
classic thing. Like
happy.
you can't take anything away when you know. But I mean,
Yeah, they're not gonna be happy.
from this post here, you can see that they definitely are not super happy with how strong the imprints are, and then they you should expect them to get nerfed in season 3. But yeah,
Even
You have
now,
chocolate.
Even now they think they're
Yeah.
too strong.
I mean, they have discussed it. They say here on the post, so
That they're not planning drastic changes to these nodes during season.
Yeah, I mean,
2
they don't do
this.
like mid-season nerfs, so so yeah.
Did she say anything
You
else?
get
Or
either chocolate cake every day, or now you get like a slice of pineapple every week. Yeah.
oh look, so basically there is a bias, right? It says so. If you imprint a unique, so if you imprint a red ring, it does still prioritize dropping the exact same unique. So there's still a bias towards a red ring, but there's diminishing returns and like things like that based on how rare the unique is. Where there's before, you couldn't even roll for a different unique of the pool, right? That's why they were so OP. So again, I would assume with something like Red Ring, which is the maximum rarity, and it's like a reroll of 97 or whatever it is, right? Yeah, you're probably not meant to print this ever. Like it might happen once in 100 times, basically, right? That's my understanding.
Well, I think that's fine. I think it's just
yeah, I think it's completely fine. Especially
like there are methods to like really like speed farm those imprints, and like if you really need the red ring, then you just use one of those farming methods to like speed farm the red ring, your imprints, and you just do as many imprints as possible, and boom, you get it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's still target farmable if you have one imprint like this.
And I do think like if MG didn't have the problems it has right now with inflation and RMT and whatever, and botting and everything that is going on down there, right? The average MG gamer probably wouldn't feel the red rings would be this super prohibitive thing, right? Because again, if people were just selling them and people didn't have billions and billions of gold out of nowhere, they would probably be reasonably purchasable if you're a grinder who knows how to make cash, right? So I don't know. I think the nerf of the imprint feels particularly bad just because there's other issues that basically were the imprints were a band-aid for MG. It's basically what I'm trying to say with how fucked MG is. That's how it feels just looking at the action house, the action whatever it's called, and people's experiences.
I still wonder if the devs are aware of what's causing this MG inflation, like exactly, and if they can fix it for next season.
I mean, the thing is, like, we have it on every patch, so it's like, I don't know.
I mean, we know for sure there's botting, right? Now maybe the botters are just there's so many. Who knows, right? I don't know. Like all I know is like if you actually Google RMT gold prices, like 50 million used to be 10 euros, and then 10 trillion is 2 euros. Like something happened, right? Like we don't know what it is, and it sucks honestly because these things are hard to control, and I don't think the devs still have made any statement about this. So at this point, just to make it sure, we are just speculating. There is no proof.
Yeah.
There is no nothing, right? So we're not making accusations here, but yeah, it does look pretty fucked.
There seems to be something going on,
Yeah,
you know,
it seems
like
pretty fucked.
something that needs to be fixed somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I think MG feels better than ever. No, MG feels good. Like I don't know. I've seen some people complaining about it too. I think MG feels good. I mean, there's one thing we need to probably talk about: the prophecy UI and.
Yeah, I guess you meant COF. You said MG feels good.
Yeah,
but
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, COF.
My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Like prophecy, rerolling prophecies. Just rework the whole thing. Like you don't need to make us reroll the prophecies. Just make it nicer. Make it just like you select what you want and you go in. You spend your 1 million favor, and you like standing there and sitting there just like rerolling stuff for half an hour and 1 hour. It's like no thanks, bro. No thanks. Fix it.
I was thinking about this a couple days ago. It was like back when you used to be able to gamble uniques from the gambler, and we would do weekend tournaments, and the last day was just everybody dumping their gold at the gambler for hours.
Yeah.
Buying Orions.
The re-rolling prophecies right now really stands out to me because there's so much quality of life that came out with this season that this is like stands out as something that is not fun to do at all. Just like sitting here trying to find generic runes prophecies. But I kind of expect that they'll change something with this, like relatively soon.
I was doing this an hour ago, rerolling for rune prophecies.
I heard Mike talk about this on stream, where they do believe that there has to be some pauses between mapping, some like downtime, and I kind of like agree. I think having like a bit of a crafting session, boom boom boom, like going to the tortoise, boom, boom like from time to time. I think this is good, right? For the flow of the game, it makes you feel clear progressions, clear like, oh, I've grinded this much favor and now I get to spend it. Like this is important. Now, do we need to sit there for an hour? Like
and also the difference is like the turtle feels fun because it's a gamba, it's just like, do I hit the whatever LP I'm trying to get? It's fun to do, even though it takes a lot of time and it's kind of tedious, but it's actually fun. And then the prophecies is like, I mean, there's no, it's it's not interesting. So.
It feels like, again, we're not asking for much. We just need some sort of like, let me auto highlight the fact that the one that I have to buy, so I don't have to hover over all of them. Just let me literally give me a filter, right? I want stout idols and I want monolith. Boom.
Soon we need filters for the prophecies, like a Bina strictness 5 filters for prophecies. You know what
it could do? They could do like a COF, the lenses and everything. They could like make it so they are maybe you could farm some lenses, or maybe you could like craft some lenses and add like more lenses, and then as you add more, it adds a certain multiplier, or like it reduces something. They could add like a whole system with like, okay, you want this setup of lenses with boom 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 boom, these 3 combined with these 4 and this one will give you the best options for like getting those yes, something like this. I think I think this is what I read. That would be amazing, no? And then you add some more. The more you add, the more it costs, but you get more benefits. So you could like balance between however many lenses you want to put on it, and then it costs more, but you like it costs more, but you spend less time, and they could make a whole system out of it.
Yeah, but I even think I even like what you said, Bina. I think there's a missing opportunity of like buying the lenses from the vendor. Just the basic one seems fine to make sure that everyone has access to like a base thing. But it could be pretty fucking cool if you like could get ingredients or get things that there would be some meta progression. I don't know. I'm kind of like a bit of a sucker
Primal
when
ingredients.
when there is a bit of like quote unquote base building or meta progression in this kind of games. It's just fun, It's like, oh,
Yep.
Minecraft. I have the gold pickaxe and now I have the diamond pickaxe, so I can pick harder. It's just like monkey brain activates monkey happy.
Yeah, I
Actually,
mean,
you're
especially since
saying
there's really not that much of that, because like the rank system in COF, you just get the XP. I mean, like automatically, you don't really think about it too much. So actually,
Yeah.
adding something like that would be really cool. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I agree. EHG, do it. Do it.
Do it. Just do it.
And
now.
talking about this too, like I was listening to the Mike podcast last Friday, and he was talking about like corruption and this and that and difficulty and Uber Averroth and this and that, and gating difficulty and how much corruption do you need before obtaining Uber Averroth and these things. And he basically kind of hinted at I actually think corruption would work better on a, he didn't say tiered system, but something along those lines.
Who said this?
Mike on DevStream.
Mike.
Yeah. 'Cause I had a conversation with him in person at Gamescom, obviously now 2 years ago almost. And dude, I've been gaslighting EHG for the tiered corruption system for a while. So hopefully they have something planned, because I think the corruption, the fact that I'm playing hardcore and I don't, if I have 390, 420, 444, or 436 or 298, the fact that it feels exactly the same and it's just like a slight boost to my magic find bullshit, and my chance to drop a boss unique goes from 39.2 to 39.4. Bro, give me something meaningful. Like and again, they have to be very careful how they do this, because you don't want to have a situation when there's like 180 torments, right? But
I don't know how I feel about like having like this like slider difficulty in any game. I like static difficulty. Like Uber Aberrot is perfect. It's always the same. Like how can you make the mapping system more static and more like challenging, like actually challenging? I don't know, but maybe they can think of something cool.
I personally, I'm a big fan of how Diablo 2 did it personally, but
EHG is pretty good at finding cool solutions to ARPG problems. Like they historically have been really good at that. I'm almost always impressed by their innovations, basically.
Trasochi is just gonna come out with the best fucking system ever again for 8th time in a row, and just like cook, and boom. So yikes. Completely carrying the systems.
I mean, future is bright for Last Epoch, especially with this patch now. I think this patch was a major success. I mean, it's no surprise to anyone. This patch was a major success and is still a major success.
True.
And I think it's just like a really good. It sets up the path really well for the future seasons, and if they can keep up with the pace that they want for seasons, which is like 3-4 months, I mean, that would be amazing for
Bro,
this.
they're teasing already.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get one August? You guys still feel August for the next season?
It's like a couple of months and it's already August. Like, holy, I don't know, bro. Maybe September is more like it.
August, I believe.
That would be cool,
dude. If they do it in August, they're gonna have like such great feedback again. Like, holy, EG releasing another season.
I mean, yes. If the patch is good, yeah, and bugs and balance, and people are not super happy about balance and stuff and bugs, and like you do need to fix those.
I mean, wait. This patch is not bad though. This patch isn't bad at all. Actually,
you mean when it comes to balance, it's not any better really. I mean, it's better than last patch, I guess. But
I mean, there's like one build that does like or like.
What do you mean one build? There's look at the S tier build. We just added Javelin there, and it does 50 million DPS on endgame planner. It's like less than 2 minutes.
But I feel like
but this is kind of fine. It's like meta, but like it's not like Umbral Blades level, or it's not like. You know, it's not like 450 million Stormcrows level, or you know, Umbral Blades billions level.
I mean, you can kill the Uber boss under 1 minute if you really want to with that
But
build.
there's like a couple build. Like I feel like if they fix snapshotting, which is always like they said they're gonna do, right? They're committed, right? So
Okay,
that's
wait.
good.
I've heard Mike talk about this again. I think it was on the previous dev stream. So snapshotting might not be fixed for season 3. At the earliest, it might be on season 3. But it doesn't mean that they are fully committed to like, yes, like they haven't even started working on fixing it.
That's
So
not
they
true. They
want-
worked on Falconeer and they already
that's what he
fixed some
said.
stuff.
Falconer is already done, but it was designed in this way. But like, snapshotting is in the works to being like removed from the game for minions. But it's not something that is easy to do. They haven't started on it, and they are planning on possibly doing it for season 3, but might not be until season 4 or later. Or maybe half of them are going to be fixed,
Oh
and then
shit!
the other half, you know,
Mhm.
we really don't know. We really don't
So
know.
Bina is still gonna be able to kill over Aberoth then.
Hmm.
Nice.
What?
Holy
I'm joking. I'm
burn.
joking. Yeah, but I
But
mean,
yeah,
what I was saying, you have Umbral Blade Falconer, which by the way, they already said is getting nuked, right? There's a Reddit comment by
Mhm,
Justin,
yeah.
and he basically, if you understand what he's saying, he's basically saying, yeah, this is gone. Like, what it's gonna be 90%, like, again, and it's still gonna be OP, by the way. Then you have obviously the time rots, the a bit overperforming. Come on, we all knew during CT, everyone knew time rot was gonna be broken the moment they teased
Mhm.
the node, right? And then there is like this one interaction by Javelin, blah blah blah. If you don't think EAG next patch is gonna do some shenanigans where like this multiplier is less for dots, like they did with the Barring Orb and stuff like that, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's for sure. These are oversights that will get slightly adjusted. I guarantee you. And then everything else, everything below A tier, honestly, like, you know, I kind of agree with Bina. It's the best it's ever been. There's just a couple oversights in my opinion.
I mean,
Yeah,
it can be
true.
the best it's ever been, but it doesn't mean it's good still on the balance, you know?
I know.
I think
tankiness is a
I think
different
it's
issue
fine.
with
I think it's fine. If there's like 1, 2, 3 builds that like overperform like crazy, that's fine.
And I find funny too that people even compare Umbral Blades versus a Racing Strike, because one is doing like 400 times the damage on the other. It's not even compare. It's
Yeah.
literally like one is doing 70 million DPS with double tier 7s and shit, right? The other is doing 4 billion, brother. Like it's like you comparing yourself to Trump and calling yourself a millionaire, you know? Yeah, it's not even
Oh,
comparable.
by the way, on the matter of new builds as well, Ballista Falconer ZHP, I am working on a hardcore version of it, which is going to be, it's not going to be the tankiest build ever, but it will be fairly tanky, and we'll still have above like 10 to 12 million DPS on Endgame Planner. So yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Ballista, viable. Hardcore.
I remember when Bina said like a couple of patches ago or something like, Ballista Falcon, you can only play it CHP, like the hardcore version. It's not good to play it tanky,
Well,
you know, it's bad, you know. But now
it's still on softcore. I would never play this tanky. I would
Reformed.
always go full damage on softcore. But since I'm playing hardcore, you can still get fairly good DPS while getting some sort of tankiness. But it's still much better to play ZHP if you're softcore.
Let me see where I have this.
The Judge. Yeah, but yeah. Ballista Falconer coming for a hardcore variant. It's gonna be a variant of the build, so it will go up in tiers. I saw Tetiantel playing it in hardcore as well. So he's a famous PoE player that plays all the totem builds, and he named his character Tatty F tier, possibly because we had it in F tier on the hardcore tier list. But obviously, this is the tier list is meant to be representative of the build that is represented there, and it's like minus 200% physical res and cold res. Like obviously you don't place in hardcore, right? But yeah, I'm gonna be making a hardcore version.
Shall we
Nice.
update tier list of things that have killed Uber?
Uber Aberrant?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a blade dancer or something? Or
yeah.
Yeah, Javelin Time Rod felt like one of. I mean, it is the easiest Uber Aberrant I've ever done. Is Javelin Time Rod. Like you don't even have to play the fight at all. It's crazy. It's actually way better in some ways than Erasing Strike. In many ways, actually, it's more damage. It's easier to play on the boss and stuff. Erasing Strike is more like better AOE though, better clear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So,
crazy build.
So for Paladin, we're still Judgment Paladin, Bleed Hammer Paladin, Nova Hammer Paladin, Javelin Paladin, the crit version. I've seen Warpaths and stuff, but I mean it's just Warpath, right? Like Warpath, any build can kill it pretty much. It's just instead of being a 3-minute kill, it's a 10-minute kill, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel you can do this on any good build if you are a good player. Like it kind of is like that. But you know.
Are you saying this is a well-designed boss? If you're a good player,
actually true. I still think Uber Aberrant is the best content in the game. Like it's the one content where you can actually, if you play a build that's not OP, like you play a Heartseeker, it's the best content I've ever done in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So
what's it called? The strength stacker? What is it called?
Mage?
Markov. What is it called? The
brand of deception.
Oh, yeah.
I've only seen people said we should give an asterisk to builds that have done it with snapshot, but I don't know, we'll see.
Nah, I mean...
Okay, can we talk about the Frostwall snapshotting? It's not snapshotting, it's bug abusing. It's not a snapshot. The snapshot that the devs want to fix is the snapshot that you equip some piece of gear, you summon your minions, they take the stats, and then you equip something else. That is an unwanted interaction that is in the game. That is, it's how the game works. Using going through your Frostwall, waiting at the last moment to keep the buff up at to the maximum, and never going through another one, and never casting Runic Invocation ever again. That is a bug. It's what you call a bug that will get fixed probably in the next patch, most likely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like and then I see some people I see some creators mentioning this. Oh, this is called snapshotting, and this is how you do it. And the devs have said that this is perfectly fine and fine to do. I mean, I'm not saying it's not fine to do. If you want to use a bug while it's available, go for it. But I mean, it's not snapshotting. It's a bug. Even though the interactions is kind of like snapshotting
you're snapshotting an interaction. There's definitely the term is correct, but it's a bit of a broad use. It's kind of like when people say that the imprints have been nerfed, right? Yeah. Sure, they have been nerfed, but by getting fixed, right? So if you want to get technical,
exactly.
It's one of those, right? Where language is important. So again, something like both kinds of snapshotting are not really intended, so they could both be fixed mid-season if they could, right? But one of them is probably easier to happen sooner than later because it's just a very particular interaction that is has a lingering effect that shouldn't happen. The same happens, for example, with Shadow Cascade Shadows, right? Which is another very famous snapshot, quote unquote, kind of bug that has been used for many years. Actually, it still hasn't been fixed. Also,
yep.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting how all of this shakes up once this is fixed. So let's see. Have I missed anything? We've seen Warpath, we've seen Smite, we've seen Multi-Strike, we've seen Rife, we've seen Time Brawl, we've seen Javelin Time Rod, we've seen Erasing Strike, of course. Multi-Strike 4 card. I still haven't seen it, so it's still question mark. I do think it can do it though. So it's still
Yeah, it can
question
do
mark.
it, of course. Yeah, it can do
I
it.
haven't seen it, but I think it can do it. What about Smelter Shroud? There's been a bit of a Smelter Shroud fever.
I don't think
Are
that
we
one can really do it that
Are
easily.
we believers or?
Maybe
It
if
does
you really
damage,
try
it's
hard, like hard, maybe.
Another
I don't know.
ultimate Bisha clunky build, like freaking going through fire hoops to like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's massive clunk for massive damage. It's pretty nice, but
Yeah, but the actual DPS is not that massive in the end. Like, sure, you deal big crits and stuff, or
no, it's actually good DPS. It was like something like over 60 millions or something on every 3 seconds. Like it's actually
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, but what is the actual DPS? Not like every 3 seconds you deal 60 million. So is it like 20 million DPS?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
clunk.
just about. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not bad, but
It's good. What do you mean? It's so good. What 20 millions compared to most
Yeah.
things in the game? It's and your Giga Tank, no?
I mean, maybe from hardcore perspective, but softcore just play a good build like Erasing Strike, Javelin, and boom, that's it. Like it's almost easier. Like I don't know.
But there's a bug with that with Smelter's Rat where you can't queue it from. say that you
There is
use,
it's very annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried playing it and I was like, okay, there's no chance I'm playing this thing. So what happens is that if you use evade, and then if you press on Smelter's Rat before your evade is done, completing the action, Smelter's Rat will not channel. Same goes for any other abilities that you would do. So it just makes it very, very kind of unplayable actually.
Yeah.
I've seen people kill it on Acid Flask, Fire Acid Flask. Korean guy, I think, or Asian player. Webs.
Was that a manual self cast?
No, it's with traps.
Traps?
I think so. What else we've seen?
I think I saw a self cast Acid Flask do it. No, was it a self cast?
The one I've seen is not self cast. The one I've seen is not. And we've seen Tornado Human Shaman, like always. Tornado Shaman with this Stormcrow. Am I missing anything? Is there anything I missed? Dancing Strikes. Dancing Strikes. And not Dancing Strikes. Cocaine Bear. Summon Bear, Snapshot.
Bear.
Is it a Beastmaster?
Yeah.
Or is it a Druid?
Yeah.
Is it a Beastmaster or Druid?
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. I've tested this. It's like not that bad DPS, but it's okay with full snapshotting. But
it's a crit build, yeah.
Yes, there's still no reason to go like 10 times less damage than crows. Maybe.
Who have you seen do this? You didn't know the name of the person?
I don't know. I'll try
to
to
look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Then we had where is the rogue? We had Shadow Cascade. Blade Dancer. Shadow Cascade by Blade Dancer. Yeah, by Afro-American Potato.
You got chat. He had pretty good gear though, right?
Yeah,
like
really good gear. So take it with a grain of salt. You know? And he played really well too. Did the lasers properly? Giga Chat laser BOR.
Yeah, I mean you do need to do that on a build like that, yeah.
On real builds. And to be honest, I think that's how the fight should be. By the way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like I feel like if you're doing Uber Avaroth in like less than 3 minutes, you're probably doing too much damage.
Too much. Yeah. I mean, it should be pretty easy for the devs to balance, at least based on the Uber kills, like kill times and whatever. So
then obviously Brand of Deception. I think Frozen Sentinel finally got it right with using the Frostwall stuff also. What else? Have I seen anything else? Thinking. I think that's what I've seen. No, list.
Okay, I haven't seen more than this.
He's called Gen, and this is the video here.
Okay, it's called Gen. Nice fuck. Well, for those who wanna check him out, Gen. Let's update then. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything, no? I'm trying to think. I've seen some shit.
I mean, I'm guessing there are more builds that could do it, but people just haven't done it yet. You know?
The build
sure.
only gets update with proof.
Yeah. Maybe we need to try like multi-shot marksman or something. You know, like a true challenge. You know, because you need to be close.
That one's gonna be
like
hard, bro. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be similar to something like Dragon Song Heartseeker in gameplay.
I think it's even harder because you have to be max close to even do damage. So.
But I mean, the boss is pretty big though, so you know.
Big ass. Yeah, but you need to be proximity for the actual damage.
Oh yeah, for the point blank. True. Yeah.
It's like, I tested it a bit. And...
Maybe I try to do that actually next or something. You know.
That's gonna be. I mean, it's for sure doable, but.
Yeah, so, I mean, it sounds like fun. You know, I went from the easiest to the hardest. You know, so last time I did Heartseeker, maybe I do multi-shot next.
You're missing Lightning Blast.
Oh yeah, true. Lightning Blast, Sork / Runemaster, no? Because I think...
Yeah. Big Daddy did it.
Big Daddy. I guess he did it on Sork, right? What?
He did on Sork, yeah.
Why Sork? Just for the mana?
He goes on like he used the meteor stuff for...
Are you a fan of that? Or?
Mana. I personally am not a fan of that. I'm gonna go Runemaster. I think Runemaster is also tankier.
Yeah. Anything else?
For like similar damage. Right? Big Daddy. I haven't seen anything else. I don't think so.
Nope.
I haven't seen anybody try Hail of Arrows. That should be maybe okay for it also. Who knows? But
I've seen offline Hail of Arrows, but not sharing.
Well, yeah,
like 2 minutes. Like I've seen some hackerman techniques. Like
yeah, we don't count those. So
yeah, the numbers didn't make a lot of sense, but I don't, maybe it can. I mean, maybe it can do it. Who knows? I think the DPS on that build is not to the level of this stuff. So
yeah, it's gonna take a long time if you're able.
Aura Judgment?
Yeah, that one is also, but I haven't seen it anywhere.
Judgment, no, it's just Judgment.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So it's also like buggy snapshotting stuffing, no, like stuff.
Yeah, you like Giga snapshot the aura and you get like massive damage for it and stuff. Yeah. So people have done it in like 2 minutes or something, even like 1 minute apparently, but I haven't actually seen the kill. So it's like some like Asian community thing once again. This thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
the Billy gamers, dude. Like
yeah.
making us feel like we're bad at our job once again.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Melee Forge Strike is Master Sword in chat is asking. I mean. Maybe you can try, you know. Maybe you can try Forge Strike.
40-second kills, 1,800 mana, 200%, 200 attunement, giga chats. Like again, this is one of those where like, I mean, you could build regular Judgment full DPS also, and you know. Like,
you could do it. Yeah, true.
Yeah. I haven't seen a single Smite Paladin do it. Actually, funny enough, Weeper.
Yeah, the damage is gonna be quite low.
Like the Fisher builds and all that.
I mean, you would be tanky though. You would be tanky, so just grind it, you know.
You can for sure do it with enough gear, and you know, like if you just gear it double tier 7s and blah 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 and Uber gear and blah blah, you will do it. But I haven't seen it, so
yeah.
No proof. Not on the list. Actually, you know, I'm gonna delete this until it's proofed. To stay consistent with my statement, you know, no biases.
Yeah. I mean, it can definitely do it, but we haven't seen it, so yeah.
Very funny. I have seen a trend of now people. I don't know if you guys seen the normal Aberoth baits for build making. or like people post like Aberoth, but a lot of the viewership doesn't know how to
Right.
people don't know if it's Uber or not. So they're
Yeah,
posting a
yeah.
kill. It's like I had people come to me and say, "Oh, this build kills Aberoth in 20 seconds, and yours is only 1 minute." And then you check the video and it's normal Aberoth, and you go like, "Oh
Yep.
boy, like oh boy, they're getting baited. They're getting clickbaited, bro."
I mean, you can tell by the name.
Yeah.
The Uber is like Herald of Oblivion or something like that, not Aberoth. So that's
Yeah.
the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Other than that, what else? Other builds that you guys have seen, I guess. We've seen the Javelin build. It's already on Maxroll, right? The one by Mystia.
Yeah. So the setup I have is of course very similar. It was nicely min-maxed already, so some small tweaks, but yeah, very good setup. Very like solid S tier build, that one.
And it's pretty funny because the Black Blade of Chaos thingy for Time Rot, Amarathi was actually originally using it on the Devouring Orb too, but we force him to go full block because we like defense.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. You have the DPS, like more DPS oriented build with the Javelin, and then we have the Devouring Orb with max
which is
block and
like
stuff.
more
so.
tanky and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's still
two
giga
different.
damage. It's still
Yeah,
giga damage,
of
so.
course. I mean, of course, yeah.
And
Yeah,
what
funny
else?
thing with the Time Rot is you can just do anything with Time Rot and it will deal damage, if you gear it properly and stuff. So.
Another shout out to the Afro-American potato. He was using the what is it called? Lethal Mirage and Spect as immunity for the pizza. Giga Chat,
Giga Chat.
Actual Giga Chat ninja, So
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Mechanics, insane. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, I haven't seen anything else. If anyone knows anything else, link it on the chat and we'll take a look. Cool.
Yeah.
To the next topic, I guess. We said the new guides that we've seen. So we've seen the Mystia stuff. Anything else that has caught your attention, guys? Anything that looks spicy or?
Did you get to look at that build that freaking lags the game?
Oh, we haven't talked
Volca
about
sent
that
you.
one. We haven't talked about the pennant. I mean, I feel like if we talk
What
about
is
this,
that?
okay, I can explain what it is basically. But basically, it's there's a few interactions going on, but basically you can use the Pearls of the Swine thingy, and there's one of the curses that is a penance, right? That is actually a hit, right? And you can self-apply that to your own minion, like your Bone Golem, for example, and or or to yourself even with Aura of Decay and with or Bone Curse, right? And basically, what happens is that because you're self-applying this thing, it creates this loop of many hits that procs like ward on hit, and it procs a bunch of shits. I know H2O has been experimenting with it. It's like I know the devs are aware of it. And I know they're looking to fix it ASAP because apparently it crashes the game, period. Right? It crashes the game, period.
So those are the one responsible for my DCs in
Yes,
hardcore.
yes.
Yeah.
So at the moment, this build is pretty niche. Not many people are playing, and I would suggest people to not look into it too much because it's basically apparently if you play it with multiple mobs. If you're not bossing with it, basically the game the game crashes in 2 seconds because it's like basically an infinite loop of procs and stuff. I've seen devs talking about like they already have a fix for it or whatever. So hopefully in the next hotfix, boom, right? They're looking into it, and again, it's not necessarily because of the power. It's because it's actually frying the servers that they have to fix it. Like straight up, it just crashes the servers when someone plays this. So, yeah, I mean...
Okay,
Oops.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Oops. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to cause trouble to AG.
Yeah, it's just bug abuse basically.
Yeah,
so,
it's not
okay.
not bueno. Okay. Yeah.
What do we feel? What do we feel is the good level of power for a build right now? Like, what would you say is the top end level of power that build should have if you pick one build in the game, which one would it be? That would be like the staple top build, basically. That
For
this
me,
should be the highest ever, basically.
For me, Warpath right now is what a powerful, not nerfable, should be. Personally, you feel OP as fuck. You do a lot of damage. You can do all the content in the game. It's gear reliant, but it also you get to feel like a god. But it's not so powerful that it's like, okay, this needs to get nerfed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the limit for me, basically. I would say, like, if Judgment didn't stack the healing pools, if it could only get healed by one pool, I think that would be fine also. So yeah, I think that's basically where I put the line, personally. I think a Racing Strike is doing a bit too much damage, personally. I've seen other people, I've seen Dread talk about, like, just the problem is Boidwell. I kind of like completely disagree. I think Boidwell, Boidwell makes the class fun. So, let people use the ability and spam it, but nerf it, you know? So it just doesn't do as much damage without adding clunk to the build. No one wants to be casting Vengeance with a Racing Strike, right? Yeah. So personally, it's fine for early game, but I much rather don't nerf the quality of life of the build and just nerf the total damage output. And again, there's a bunch of, like, I much rather have the builds. I think the weapon, the LP, is too easy. I think maybe it's giving a bit too much crit. You know, maybe if you had to build a bit of crit just to lower up your DPS overall because you had to use some affixes for it, or, you know, I don't think it needs to be giga nerfed, you know, but I think, like, I don't know, maybe like a start with a 25% nerf overall, like maybe the weapon LP level, raise it, you know, and then, like, maybe the 100% multiplier that they added this patch, like, make it a 50 with a 200, so 25.
Because, like, the thing is that it's an insanely fun build. Like, it's so fun to play. Like, it's fast, it has big AoE, just bonking everything. It's just, don't, like, if they kill the build, they will kill, like, a very, very fun build to play.
Yeah, they shouldn't kill it. It's just like, does it need to do 50 to 70 million DPS? Would it be less fun? No.
You know? Yeah, I think the main problem was putting the node that doubles your damage, like 100% more multi when wielding a two-hander is not. It was too much. It was too much. Upping the base damage effectiveness, putting that node in, getting the time rot more easily, all of those changes made it, like, you know, like, way too powerful.
Yeah, and I just think the weapon, again, the weapon, the LP level probably needs to be a bit higher. I think it's just the fact that you can actually
LPL or something.
I mean, maybe 100 is a bit too much. Like, two LP should be possible, but it shouldn't be. You know, if you play the build, you will get it eventually. You know?
I mean, on 100 LPL, it's still
possible. You can get 2 LP, especially on a boss unique. It's pretty easy to farm. So
well, maybe.
Same as
it's pretty simple. You just lower the damage by lowering the multipliers, and maybe the damage effectiveness a little bit. Like, it's not too hard to nerf the build.
Yeah.
And you still keep it very good, you know. It's you have a lot of damage to spare. So, like, think about also the rest of the game, like 1K corruption gameplay. You one shot pretty much everything. So it's like,
or maybe, like, even the fact that the melee critical strike multiplier scales. It's a pretty good ratio for mana, 1 to 10. You know, it's a pretty good ratio. So maybe they could also take a look at, maybe give it a range, or maybe make it like 1 in 15, 1 in 20 even. So if you build mana, you're gonna be able to spam more, but then, you know, I think it would be good if you want to build maybe crit multi somewhere, right? And you're not just like, mana gives you everything pretty much. But other than that, I think this build is, you know, it needs a nerf, but it doesn't need, like, and again, it's still pretty squishy, to be honest. Like, compared to what's
there's
out there in
downsides
the game,
to the build. Yeah,
it does have downsides, so I don't know. Yeah. And again, a lot of the problems that I have with this build is the fact that, yeah, I mean, guaranteed slams kind of make it pop the fuck off, right? So, are we supposed to be getting tier 7s everywhere this easy? Like, maybe that is the problem too, you know? You reach you reach the OP level so fast on this, and this is why it's meta, right? And this is why we put it on S tier. It's not just that it's strong; it's that it's strong with very little, right?
Yeah, but I mean, definitely for me, after playing Erasing Strike, it's very hard to enjoy other builds until you get used to the lower DPS again. But like, let's say you have two builds with endgame planners, this is just so much better. So same for any of these like S tier builds. So
You're spoiled.
yeah, you get spoiled basically. Yeah. So that's not a very good thing to have in your game, I think.
What do you think, Vision? Do you think some of these builds are a bit too crazy? What is your opinion? What you've been playing and stuff?
Everything that you said sounds about right. Judgment kind of spoiled me playing hardcore. I guess probably from the stacking healing pools.
Yeah.
I'm scared to play everything else, but Warpath, that sounds pretty good to me as like something that feels about right. There's still a lot of risks playing it, and then also a lot of the gear you're getting. It feels like it has an impact on the build. That doesn't feel too crazy. Erasing Strike I've not played. Umbral Blades, I'm just now getting into Empowered with that, but that feels kind of the damage on that feels pretty crazy, but I'm not geared, so I can't really say for sure like how it compares to everything else in the end. But yeah, I would say Warpath, at least from the pool that I've played so far, feels about right.
Yeah, I kind of like that Warpath. You feel the journey of getting stronger. Like if you get the build, the difference between having a good needle or not having it, the difference of having like a good pair of like boots for the movement speed or this and that. Like it's one of those builds where like a lot of the power slowly unlocks until you end up feeling like you should. Like so I don't know. What do you think, Bina? Actually.
I mean, I mainly ask a question because I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really. I think I agree with Warpath. Warpath. I do have a character that plays Warpath, and it does feel like you say you get more channel costs. You get like like the higher tier channel costs. You get more mana. You get more of everything. It does feel like a build that does not just get all of its power for free. You have to kind of like build into it, especially because the node itself in the skill tree ramps up as you scale more mana, and like basically it just all the pieces of the puzzle fits very well together. Yeah, I would tend to agree that Warpath seems to be on the good top end side of things in terms of power and balance. I'm looking at the other S tier builds, like Stormcrows for sure does way too much damage. Erasing Strike, slightly too much damage, but not too crazy. Time Rot, obviously, like it's just like we knew this beforehand, but like Time Rot is just Time Rot. Umbral Blades is I can't even start to describe Umbral Blades. Like it does, like you see all of these other builds, but Umbral Blades is like in the like galaxies different than all these other builds. It's like we are here on Earth, and it's like this one is on another it's in another universe completely. It's we're in the multiverse now, you know. It's like it's God basically. I don't know.
And again, even compared to builds like Javelin Time Rod, which again, Javelin Time Rod is getting like, it's getting 40-second Uber Abaroth kills, and the Umbral Blade Falconer is only getting like 20 Uber Abaroth kills, 20 seconds. You would say, oh, it's just double the damage. Well, not really, because half of the like on the Umbral Blade Falconer, you could literally one-shot Uber Abaroth if he didn't have damage immunities, right? The problem is like he's just there, not being able to take damage. That's why the kill times get kind of normalized.
Like for example, to compare, right? Stormcrow's Beastmaster on an Uber Abaroth setup, with good gear, with great gear, right? Will have like maybe 400 to 500 million DPS, and it's like about like I don't know 100 like 500 million DPS is like 100 times the average build, and then Umbral Blades has 100 times Stormcrow's build, Stormcrow's DPS. It's like it's you take the average build times 100 times another 100, and then you get Umbral Blades. It doesn't make any sense. That build is just like universes apart.
Yeah.
I think Ballista Falconer is pretty balanced in terms of how much investment into damage or tankiness you have to do. Like you can make the active decision to not build defenses and just go damage. The damage is going to be high, but it's not going to be abnormally high compared to like some other stuff. Slightly higher, but you have no defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually, but because Master Sword in my chat is typing like, but should Warpath, which is a one bottom build, be the best? You know,
But like all of the builds are one button. Like Racing Strike is one button.
yeah, but you have to manage your
like,
buffs, and you know, like you
It's
have
not
to
the best in
aim,
everything.
like-
yeah, but I mean, it's like sure Warpath is the easiest to play, but you know.
But for example, Rive should probably do more single target than Warpath as a
Sure,
principle, no? As a and the same way, like if Warpath is gonna run around stun immune and blah blah blah, and kind of tanky with the 50% parry or whatever. Yeah, Ballista Falconer should probably be able to do a bit more damage if it chooses to go CHP, which is kind of like what Bina's hinting at, no?
Yeah,
I mean, it depends what the intended balance is for builds. I feel like if you have endgame planner and you kill Uber Aberrant in like, I don't know, 4 minutes or something, that's completely fine. Even 3 minutes is fine, sure, for like a top end build. But you know,
like
if
20
it's
million,
faster than that,
20 million DPS with endgame planner should be kind of like at the top end, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. And even that is a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
It's a lot. It's considered like that most builds deal on like under 10, basically.
I would even be as comfortable as saying, like looking at this tier list, that everything in terms of damage, obviously, not tankiness, right?
Yeah.
That everything in B and below needs a buff for DPS. Everything on S needs a nerf for DPS, and everything at A can stay how it is, I would even say. Maybe Hydra needs.
Yeah. That sounds actually pretty balanced. When you look at builds in A tier, like you see like Totem Shaman, you see like I don't know. Well, Shield Bash Forge Guard, actually. You've been playing this. How good is the damage on this? Sounds pretty crazy to me.
Compared to what? Right? If you compare it to the stuff in A and the stuff in S, you're playing a different game.
Like Shield Bash is really good damage, but it's also slow and it's a melee build, and but it's very good damage and it permastuns bosses and all that stuff. But like, it doesn't need a nerf. It's completely fine, especially if you compare to the S build.
Compared to Umbrals, Umbral Blade kills 4 dummies in 1 second when it's fully ramped up, and I think Shield Bash, fully stacked with Event Horizon, fully geared, fully everything. In order to kill a dummy, I probably have to kill it for 1 minute. Hit it for 1 minute straight. So yeah, it's a bit maybe more. I mean,
it's about 17 million on the end game planner, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I do feel like A tier is quite balanced for damage.
Yeah, A tier is
but
pretty good.
I think Shield Bash, it's actually, could it get a bit more damage? Sure. I think it's mainly, it just needs something synergistic on the 5th slot. It's just a Forge Guard issue, I think, right?
Yeah, there's no skill to use on the last
like
slot.
If there was like some sort of like, I don't know, buff on Forge Guard, some sort of like sigil-like ability that would give you like, I don't know, reinforced weapons or whatever, and you like unbuild your weapon, PoE style, and then you do more fire damage or extra fire damage or whatever the fuck.
No.
Right? No, without the animation.
Yeah.
I think though a lot of these builds would feel good because I don't know, Forge Guard does feel like it has a bit of a problem with its identity still. Like, okay, like again, if we go and we just take a look at the Forge Guard passive tree. Okay, so we have the most useless node in the game, I think, right? Then we have minions.
Also, don't forget the actual mastery bonus, which is just resistances and some armor when you get hit.
Which you already have for free, and you're overcapped.
Yeah, you already get max armor anyway.
Yeah, like this is basically nothing, right?
Yeah.
Then you have this. This node is kind of fine if you're actually kind of using it. Okay, cool. Then you have all this block shit, all this dot shit. So if you're not doing blocks and you're not doing dots, well, all of this is useless. Then you have all this armor attunement stuff, which again I have never seen a real Forge Guard go attunement. You can do attunement gear to snapshot your minions, but that's about it, right? Then you have all of these things. If you go crit, great, and there's throwing here. Like it just feels like none of these nodes are compatible with each other. You know, if you're playing throwing, you go throwing. If you go crit, you go crit. If you go shield, you go shield. But nothing else works for you. It's like the bottom is just dog shit, pretty much. And then on the top, you have like all the minion stuff, all the melee stuff, all the throwing stuff. And the same goes for the skills. You take a look at the skills, and it's like half of the skill trees are dedicated. Like, for example, you look at Forge Strike, and half of the tree is to buff manifest weapons. So if you're playing Forge Strike without manifest weapons, you can go up or you can go down. That's it, right? Because the other half of the tree is useless.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for other builds, like non-minion builds and stuff, the most like interesting node is the two-hand node with the shield. Like, sure, you can use two-hander shield, but then you have no haste and you deal less damage anyways, and it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, they have
I
to
mean, it's good with
straight up.
Yeah, at least remove the haste, the haste downside. Yeah.
Or yeah, the haste, especially with how important it is to go fast, is like
yeah.
But again, even with all of that, I do feel like Shield Bash, aside from the perma stunning, which they need to take a look at. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the perma stunning, right? I think it's kind of like on the balance side of things, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's interesting if you compare like A tier builds to B tier builds. Like, you could definitely play like a top A tier build and then go to B tier and feel like, okay, this is fine.
Okay,
like I'm but then you go from S tier to A tier. It's like, well, why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing? It's like, the difference is so massive.
Like, again, we were saying, Bina, basically that if you play an A tier or a B tier build, you kind of feel like you're playing the same game. You know, you kind of like feel that feeling of, okay, good builds versus not so good, like very good builds versus good builds, you know, and it doesn't feel like you're just getting gapped by ×2 everything. But on the S tier builds, you definitely feel like, yeah, there is not even, you're playing a different game, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
So yeah, probably that's our consensus. No, pretty much we all agree that S should probably get slightly nerfed in some cases, because things like Stygian, even though the only reason it's on S is because it's actually numerically 20 million plus DPS. But again, if you compare it to Umbra Blade Falconeer, which is 4 billion, we kind of like run out of tears, you know. We kind of run out of tears. So yikes.
Yeah, we kind of need like a S plus tier for
it's like this will get nerfed tier, you know, like an ethical tier, Giga tier. And then
we have something like this actually. Like S tier is like the best of the best, but then you have like tier 0 or like, you know, like a tier like out of the, like, basically it doesn't fit into any of the tier lists. Like, oh, this build is just like, you know, apart from the others. Should we have this
tier?
Giga tier.
What do you guys think, chat? Should we have like a Giga tier? Will be nerfed tier.
What about just XD? You know,
XD tier. Yeah.
Like oops tier. You know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's best this way, so it's kind of like hidden a little bit at least. You know, it's I guess it's tier, but even, you know, it's, I don't know.
Because like having so this obvious. There with like, like Umbral Blades is just like it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit onto that tier list, you know. Mafia tier.
Mafia tier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, what else? I mean, we talked actually a bit about what is meta and what everyone is playing. I have seen a lot of people talk about how, like, you know, because of CT and because Maxroll and other content creators and stuff, there's not that much discovery on the patch or whatever the fuck, man. Even though I haven't seen a single person who, while they were saying this, they were not playing one of these builds. So it's kind of interesting. I hate that the patch is fixed. Meanwhile,
and the fact that there was still stuff to find, like we didn't do everything. We left some.
We're just 5 people, guys. Like, don't give us that much credit.
Javelin build was found, and, you know, like stuff like that. You know, so it's
there's always stuff to be found. There's always something to be found.
Definitely.
You just have to look for it.
In the past, the way a lot of these builds have been found, and many classic builds have actually come to existence, at least in my case, I know, for example, Turbo Vengeance came from a Vision tournament, and the Bow Mage, Reign of Winter build came from a Vision tournament. All of these things. So this is a good sideway. Maybe Vision, you want to talk a bit about the main reason why you're here actually today. You want to talk a bit about what you've been cooking, what you've been thinking, and what we can expect from you and the tournaments and all that.
Yeah, so it's been so long since I've been able to do tournaments, so I guess like a little intro is back in February 2020, pretty much right after I first started streaming last Epoch, we set up these like community events, and it started out just every weekend we would try to like pick a class or a skill. We would do like randomizers, and eventually it transitioned to voting, and we would just all build around unconventional or off meta skills. And it was a lot of fun just to see everybody theory crafting. Really, like for new players, watching everybody theory crafting on the same skill, like you were able to learn a lot. Parts of builds or classes that we hadn't really played or discovered, like kind of got delved into. And so, pretty much as long as there was a ladder, we were doing these tournaments. Sadly, there were a couple patches with no ladders where we didn't have much going on, but we did a lot with like picking skills, banning skills, different themes, team tournaments. But with the game going online and multiplayer coming out, a lot of stuff got broken. And now finally, with Maxroll, we're able to do that again. And we finally kind of have the tech mostly set up and getting set up the rest of the way that we can kind of bring this back. And so that's we're shooting for as soon as possible. And I know people that are familiar with the events back then, a lot of stuff has changed with the kind of information we have access to and how we get access to that information. So the tournaments are going to start out pretty close to the same, but a little bit different. We kind of have to build back up from where we're starting now.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can expect in the beginning is it'll probably be a little more laid back, like mastery focused. But we do have the tech to eventually like build around picking certain skills, banning certain skills if we want to do that. And something that I couldn't do before that we can do now with Maxroll is we'll be able to plan around or like plan events around even nodes within passive trees. So, like, say with Judgment, just as an example, if you're everybody's playing the same OP nodes, what if you wanted to do like an aura, whatever, like a different spec of a skill?
Yeah, like a
We could
crit
even do
version or
tournaments
something,
around
right?
that.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's so many more possibilities now once we get all that rolling. But like I said, it's going to take a little time for us to kind of build up to that and get into a flow of how we're going to do this. But my plans right now is we'll do this something like every other week, like
Mm-hmm.
bi-weekly with a gap between. That way, if you want to keep playing your build, then you have like free time there. It's not going to be like an overwhelming amount of events going on. Because I know that was like a complaint in the past is we had stuff going constantly that people felt like they needed to play in everyone and didn't have enough time to do kind of their own projects. But the plan with the tournaments is you have the competitive side of it with pushing arena waves, but I also think it's really good for like community and theory crafting because like new players coming into the game, first off, one thing we want to do with the Maxroll version of this is there's going to be like polls so you can vote on the skill that you want to like see us play or do for the tournament. So like a new player that's interested in dancing strikes, if we're doing a blade dancer tournament and you see that in the poll, you can vote for it. And then it's likely that everybody that's playing in the tournament is going to be playing dancing strikes builds. You can kind of like follow along, see what people are doing, see what works, see what doesn't work. It's like really good for learning the game. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's been so long since I've been able to do it that I'm gonna have to like kind of relearn everything, like get back into the process and the habit of doing these. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great also to keep, the patch. It's not like dead or anything, but it's definitely not the hype of the first week or whatever. So it's very interesting, like for those who feel like, okay, I already played the meta builds, I already played the Rexing Strike, I already killed this, that, right? What if you just like, we go and we dig into some things that are just not interesting, or not have been caught the interest of the people yet, and yet they are still interesting, right? Again, there's so many abilities that, for example, I don't know, when is the last time someone went deep at Flame Reef, with all the new uniques and all the new items and all the, who knows, maybe there's something there that people can find, there's other community events going on by other creators and stuff, and they find stuff every week. So there's tons of things to be discovered. And again, we do have the infrastructure on the website to organize something that is a bit more global, that's something only based in a YouTuber's channel or whatever. So the idea, and this is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vision, but the idea is that we're going to have a new tab on the website, right? So we're going to have build guides, tier list, monolith, all that. And then we're going to have one that is just going to be called events, or it's going to be inside the leaderboard or whatever. And then when you click at it, basically we're going to give a tag for everyone. Let's just say the tag is Maxroll, right? So basically, the game, the ladder with the pre-filter all the people who have opted into this solo challenge, right? We're gonna make them solo to make sure everyone starts fresh and everyone feels like they're starting from zero, right? And you're gonna be able to compete against each other and to compare each other's builds. You're gonna be able to click on the name and open up their planners and say, oh, this guy's doing this, I'm doing that. And the idea is just to create something to to burn time, to make friends, to interact, and hopefully to keep the community going and alive, right? And every 2 weeks it's gonna reset. You're gonna get a new tag. Let's just say the tag is gonna be like dancing underscore your name, and then it's a dancing strike tournament, right? And like Vision has said, we're gonna have we're even have the technology to even track things like Uber Aberoth and things like that, right? So again, the possibilities for different types of events are there. So give feedback to Vision, leave comments in this YouTube video when we upload it on YouTube to what you guys want to see, because obviously this is mostly for the community, and all of us were probably going to participate too and be part of it. But it'll be very interesting to to make sure that Maxroll is not only a place for guides and stuff, but also a place for the community, and to host races and to host events. And who knows, maybe we can even talk to EHG and put some cosmetic prices in the line. And who knows, we've done that in the past, right? Vision got that going on the original tournaments. That's how I got all my cosmetic points. So hopefully we can pressure them into helping us too, to create some hype. And yeah, I don't know if you
a couple of things. Like you were saying, I think it's good. Not that the patch is dead or anything, but I think these are good for people that just want to keep playing Last Epoch, but need like some direction or some kind of confines to work within as far as theory crafting goes. It's nice to have like a goal or a project, and I think this can kind of help with that. And then also, I think a lot of there's people talking about Maxroll solving the meta. I think this is really good for like people that find a lot of enjoyment in the theory crafting. I think that's kind of important also to keep alive in the game, because that's a main draw for a lot of people. It's just like kind of the skill sandbox that this game is. So I'm always gonna lean toward trying to make this like fun also, like as far as theory crafting goes.
Yeah, like I mean, a lot of the purpose of these tournaments are not just to make, let's make something that is better than a Racing Strike. It's like, okay, let's grab this skill that may be underused, maybe it's underpowered even, right? Let's all play it as a community, like hundreds of people playing the ability, and then we can probably get a good understanding of what is actually bad about the ability, so the devs can maybe even fix it, right? We can provide a lot of good feedback with this and really understand what the issues are, because again, it's very easy to sit on your computer and just say, oh, this ability is shit or this master is shit, but if you don't actually go and interact with it and understand why things are shit or not, it's very hard to provide valuable feedback, right? So yeah. And again, just to finish this topic, sure, like obviously when you have people testing the game and providing feedback, fixing bugs and all that, you on the process, a lot of it gets solved, right? but it's also an individual choice to pick what to play, right? Like again, I've been playing fucking Shield Bash for the last week. You know, it's a B tier build. You can do that too. Like if you follow the meta, if you open up Maxroll and you choose, say, I'm only gonna play an S tier build, that's on you, really. So you know, just keep that in mind. You can play whatever you want. It's a game. You know, it's just a game. Cool. Any tournament? If you guys could start a tournament right now, Volca and Bina and Vision, what ability would you like to see? What class? What is your choice here?
I'm waiting for somebody like Giga Hard, like Uber Aberrot or something that nobody ever plays, and you know, then somehow we find as a community like some insane interaction or something. I don't know, maybe like I don't know, maybe Blade Dancer or something, Spell Blade. Who knows? You know?
Okay. Something underplayed for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Vina?
I would want to see something Spellblade, not Shatter Strike.
Ooh.
Like not like Shatter Strike is banned, and then you have to play something else.
Shatter Strike is banned. Yeah. It's there's Surge there, right? There's Flame Rift. I've seen some people play some
like
hybrid
something based
builds.
on items as well, like Vaeon's Chariot Boots, or like some underused item. Like I don't know, you have to put the.
Oh, interesting. If you could make it around one item, what item would it be? Actually, that's an interesting. I found that interesting because Vision used to do this too, right? Just pick up a unique and
Sacrificial Embrace gloves.
Oh shit! Like we're going niche here.
That one is a spicy one.
Holy.
For those who don't know, I guess I'm gonna.
I guess
like Sacrificial Embrace. Does anyone do anything with this? We've talked about it in the past, like maybe like some Glacier stuff. What was it with Glacier though? With this one,
I used to play. This is years ago, but I used to play targeting Glacier because it removed your crit multi. So you know, because you still wanted to crit, but then you were doing. I don't know. It was just like doing some. Your crits don't deal additional damage, right? It has that line. It's like. Well, Glacier still didn't do any damage with crits anyway because the node removed it. Now it's only 30% less or something. It used to completely remove it. Actually, it does. No, it doesn't do that anymore, right? Like the targeting node, does it do? Take a look.
I don't know.
Let's take a look.
But yeah, I don't know. Something with this or something.
Yeah,
crits no longer do
crits
damage.
no longer do damage. So yeah, this node, the static collapse, I built around this. And this is back in the day when you build crit, you know, ward on crit and, you know, low life and like full ward, zero resistances meta, you know, back in the old system. And that's how I built, basically. It was some sort of, you know, you did this, and then I casted a meteor and stuff with the more damage that is not. It was a complete shit build, okay, but hey, I tried.
Or like the best. What is it called? The fire element that spreading flames. Flames.
Yeah.
The best spreading flames build ever. I would love to see that.
Uber Aberront with spreading flames.
I mean, just saying though, looking at that line, it gives you 10 stacks of Abyssal Rite, right? 20 Void Pen per stack. That's 200 Void Pen on a spell. There is no way there is not like one big spell. What about? Aren't Sigil's Explosion a spell? I wonder if you can make Sigil Explosion.
Oh no!
You know, activate Time Rot for a jig. I wonder if you can do something wonky like that.
Wait, what about this on Time Rot? No, what is it?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to be critting with something because you need crit chance for the actual, you know, to get the stacks.
So. Hear me out here.
Yeah, but every 4 seconds you use the fucking the amulet that guarantees a crit, no?
No, you have to crit a lot of little things, so then you get the big boom, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's 10 stacks, so.
So what I'm imagining is some sort of like you go with vengeance, boom, 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 or whatever, and then eventually you get the stacks, and then you use sigils as a spell with the to then apply like a giga, like I don't know, with some sort of void knight time rod thingy. Who knows? that's my guess. Insane build. Go try it, guys. You won't regret it.
It sounds very fun to play and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
When is the
sounds-
earliest at which we could expect something to happen in terms of community event?
Me and Lizard were both pushing for within like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I know Spirit was finishing up stuff with the loot filter, and then he was going to start looking at the last of what we need to have the tournaments going. A lot of the tech we have already, it's just organizing it into like the events tab and all of that, like ways that I can like add in introductions at the top and that kind of stuff. So hopefully pretty soon.
Sounds great, man.
One
tournament
spoiler. What?
I think the first tournament should be Sacrificial Embrace. I mean, this
Oh,
item
no.
is like I think it's the most underused item in the entire game. No?
Yeah, for good reason. Who knows?
Yeah, let's cook it.
Maybe there is some tech.
Put it in the microwave. You know.
I think
We'll
that
have
one
to
needs
see.
like an actual oven, not just a microwave. You know?
Slow cooker.
Slow cook. Or maybe someone who's actually good at builds could do it. You know. Like,
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm thinking our first tournament is going to be just Forge Guard though. I'm not
Bit
sure
more
if
open-ended.
we'll have the item, like being able to track by item like that tech in completely. Like I said, we're gonna have to start kind of small. But my idea for the first tournament was 49% of players were playing Sentinel, and some absurd amount was playing only Paladin and Void Knight. So the idea around the first tournament would be like Forge Guard's Revenge, and it's gonna be us giving Forge Guard its time in the light with everybody messing around on that class to see what could potentially be broken there.
Nice.
I actually think there is things in Forge Guard, so it's just there is a lot of clunk. You know, I think you should call the tournament the Revenge of the Clunk. You know, Sacrificial Embrace, Forge Guard, Furnace Spell, Smelter Shroud.
Oh no!
Misha was
Misha
ready.
build.
Misha was ready.
Build.
Oh,
The
man.
ultimate Misha build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only Sacrificial Embrace was missing from the absolute clunk.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, but that would be cool, no? I mean, what do we have in? Actually, I'm kind of interested. Just this is probably kind of confirmed, right? That the first tournament is gonna be probably based around kind of this, I mean, unless we get some crazy feedback about it. But what do we have in Forge Guard? We have Forge Strike. Hey,
Yeah.
bro. This is a strong node, huh? Look, physical penetration with 100 pen, boom.
Yeah. If only the mana cost wasn't like 1 million on the skill,
Hey,
so you could actually spam it for.
We don't talk about that, okay? We'll figure it out on the tournament. We'll figure it out on the tournament. There's some shield throw things you can do. I've seen people fuck around with shield throw. I've seen shield throw winners. Kind of, no?
Mm-hmm.
And
I've only seen it really played with Manifest Armor mainly. Not.
I'm telling you, I'm going Smelter Shroud.
Holy.
Or what about some Void Cliff Eclipse builds? This used to be a thing.
Classic.
This used to be a thing. I haven't seen that in a while.
I mean, that one actually might be interesting now with the guaranteed slam and everything.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering, because you can get a lot of that, and the Void Cliff got giga buff too. Guaranteed slam, guaranteed.
Yeah.
You get the crit chance, boom, and now you got increased crit on sigils. Like, hey, there is.
What? No. What do you got? What What are you guys
What?
talking about? This is just a worse erasing strike. No, it's
Hey,
just
Yeah, but
like,
bro.
you have
Bro.
3 charges and then you can't spam it, and then what
Yo!
are you talking about?
I mean,
But,
that's what I've been
hey,
saying the whole podcast, but this was for the, for the tournament, Now
Uh,
Mr. Meta Chaser is back here again, all of a sudden. What is this?
well,
Vina, you're
this
ruining
one-
the spirit of the tournament,
Oh
right?
my god, this one doesn't make sense. Okay.
Oh no.
You know.
But it could be cool, it could be cool.
But it's also
could-
nerf proof. It won't get nerfed. So, hey,
True.
you know.
You never know. You never know.
And what else? Some sort of throwing stuff, right? There's a lot of throwing stuff. I don't know. There's potential. There's potential. No, there's potential.
Yeah,
Fire
yeah.
Abyssal Echoes. You know?
Holy.
Dude, you make
Insane.
Fire Abyssal Echoes with Embrace for the Giga Pen and the Giga Damage. Think about it. Okay, I'm the cook is done.
You might be overcooking.
Yeah.
It is a possibility.
I mean, there is some stuff. There is some stuff, no?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff. Yeah.
You can also make every Void Knight build worst, like Rive.
True.
Like,
That's a good option. Yeah.
You know,
You can play, Rive and stuff. Insane.
Forge weapons, yeah, Forge weapon. I mean, all the builds that are already there. Shield Bash is kind of giga, right?
Yeah, that one is actually good.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Multi strike is good. You could play shield throw, of course. We actually don't have any shield throw build at the moment on Maxroll and stuff.
Yeah, you just didn't feel the need, no? It feels like
Yeah, it's
people
very similar
really
to...
want it. I just feel like until shield throw relies on the bouncing on your ally bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
there's too many downsides on that, like compared to like even just like a javelin crit setup. So so yeah, but it's playable. It's very playable for sure. So at least with gear,
Well, I'm just saying it. I'm going Smelter's Wrath, personally. Vision, just so you know.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of excited to push some arena again. It's been a while since I've even like
with a non-meta arena pushing, man. That's the.
I don't think I've like seriously done arena since before 1.0. So that's going to be fun, I think.
And with these builds that are most likely going to be pretty terrible, it's not even going to be a long push because we're going to die at wave 100 versus these new mobs, right? That's great. The best.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be just like channeling your Smelter's Wrath and champion one.
I'm gonna call my guy Giga Wrath,
Holy.
Insane.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Looking forward to it, Vision. Thank you again for putting all the work and thinking about how to make it fun and all that. And I hope people appreciate it. People like this kind of shit. So, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, should be fun.
Okay. There's been quite a new addition to the game that I kind of wanted to touch over a bit. I haven't fucked too much with it personally, but the all the filter stuff, the Ragex and the stash macros and all of these things. Like, have you guys been using it? All this like quality of life thing, or?
I haven't, but yeah, Bina has. I know.
I mean, I've been trying to, but like, where do you get the information on how to search for this? Like all this information, I've been trying to find 2 affixes in my stash that is tier 7 and tier 7. Like any double tier 7 items, I've been trying for like 15 minutes. I wasn't able to get it to work. I was able to do tier 7.
You don't know how to do the command?
Yeah, I think no, but I mean, I think there needs to be maybe Maxroll can do it actually. Like there needs to be somewhere where we can look at all the different commands, or like a website that just gives you the regex for whatever you're looking for, basically.
The regex Bina guide.
It's I don't know. I've been trying to, and maybe I'm just bad with regex, but
some of the stuff from PoE I think carries over. I was trying to look into it a bit, and there's some stuff from like the PoE using it for the regex, and a lot of that like syntax applies, but I haven't delved too deep into it yet. I did see on the patch notes Reddit thread somebody was suggesting adding that into the in-game guide, and I hope EHG does that, because They snuck it into the bottom of the patch notes, and I feel like it's such a huge feature. But it should definitely be in the in-game guide too.
It definitely feels like the classic EAG where someone is working on it and then suddenly, I just made it in, boom, you know. Which, by the way, we haven't talked about this, but normally EAG, by, you know, when the patch is like 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, they kind of like stop patching, kind of, because they're working on CT already and they're working on the next brand, right, on the next patch. And I actually been quite impressed about how much they've been working and updating this patch, no? Like, which makes me think maybe a lot of the stuff for next patch is kind of already on schedule, so they have. I don't know. I mean, I'm completely speculating here, but what do you guys think? Like, patch is close. Like, they're updating this patch quite a bit. Like, what is going on? It's quite a. I don't think they've ever really done this, no? Like, they
I
normally
mean,
just,
it's
like,
really good
dip.
for sure to see that happen. They're actually adding like features and stuff like that, so that's really good. I'm guessing they also have a bigger team now, so maybe they can allocate more manpower to like patching and so stuff like that. Definitely, I guess affects it, but it's just really good. Yeah, really good that we actually get new stuff and fixes and bug fixes and all of that stuff mid patch. It's nice.
Cool. Well, again, if anyone knows the command to help Bina how to regex properly, yo.
Double tier 7s. I think someone mentioned that it's bugged and you can't find them. So maybe I'm okay.
So you're not dumb. It's just bugged. I see.
It's just bugged.
Classic EHG. Okay. Anything else? Any other topic you guys feel like talking a bit? There hasn't been much going on this week. I feel like, again, some new builds, but anything you guys want to mention or?
I think we went over a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
the new guides.
Yeah, maybe before we close, you guys can talk a bit about what you guys been doing on your stream. What can they expect this week on your stream? What you guys been working on? What you guys are doing?
Well, I've been doing Uber Aberrots a lot, actually offline. So I've been gaming quite a bit of game time in offline, actually doing more testing and just Uber Aberrots and of course the new Javelin build and stuff like that. So maybe I go back to online soon. Maybe do maybe like a fresh start on Character Found or something like that. Maybe something like off meta, because I need to get out of the meta slave stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
As for me, I've been working a lot on the filters, so I'm going to be looking at getting feedback on that. But I am playing my Ballista hardcore character, so I'm going to be doing that. I need to write the guide for Lightning Rune Master as well, Lightning Blaster Master. And I found myself now opening up a planner and starting to cook freaking Sacrificial Embrace. For some reason, I convinced myself that it was something good. And I'm like now I have an idea and I kind of want to do it. But yeah, I mean... Yes, that's pretty much it. I think this week is still going to be quite a bit of Ballista. It just reminded me that Ballista is so freaking good. It's just amazingly good. Mechanically, the best skill in the game.
It's really good. I was watching your stream before opening mine while I was coming from work, and it's so good. Even if you like, the thing is, like, it does so much damage, and if you play like. That's the thing. You don't really need to push super high corruption to get good gear, right? Like you really don't with imprints and with like if you're at 500-ish, even in hardcore, just to make sure you don't die, you can get all the gear you need, right?
I mean, it's still gonna be pretty risky for that build. You're not gonna be super tanky, but
even 300, I feel like I haven't really pushed past 400 myself. I don't think I have a single timeline on 500, even on my judgment, just because I didn't care. And I have every item I can dream of, so yeah. I don't know, it looks really, really good. I actually used to be a Ballista enjoyer too, so who knows, maybe I roll one, who knows. And what about you, Vision? What you been doing? What you been playing?
I'm doing the reverse Volca, where I'm becoming a meta slave. I've played Necromancer for so long And at this point, I'm ready just for acolyte buffs. But I've started Roid Mage like several patches in a row now. So now I'm trying to play other classes and learn a bit more about just like some classes. It's been so long since I've played them. The passive trees are completely different. So I'm just kind of exploring a lot of our builds like at the top and just seeing how different things function. And I've also been kind of this week I've been working on Umbral Blades, playing hardcore. So that's what I've been doing. And on the side, I'm kind of laser focusing in on my YouTube and I'm trying to like build a catalog of like game mechanics that people don't quite understand, where I'm trying to just have a bunch of information of like common pitfalls or questions that people are having. That's kind of what I'm doing. playing our S tier builds and focusing on like game mechanic stuff. And then I'll have tournaments coming up soon, which I'll be pretty busy with.
It's actually very interesting that you talk about this, because I do feel like if you wanna kind of stay relevant as a creator or as a build maker, if you actually care about knowing about the game, right? Obviously, if you're just a casual who gives a fuck if you know or you don't know, you just follow a build guide, boom, right? But I do feel like it's so important to kind of like branch out and to play all these builds and to kind of like experience them, because to have a better understanding of what the game is. Like for example, you know, Volka for the longest time, right? He's been playing only Sentinel or whatever and stuff, and now that he's been playing other stuff, he's like, wait, what the fuck? Like this is like, and you know, and suddenly your brain starts opening, and the same happens to me and to Bina and to everyone, right? And I feel like because we've been working as a team dispatch, I think we all got way more knowledgeable on our own fields just by knowing more of the other people, right?
Yeah,
and I don't know. Sure. So sometimes when I'm like lurking on just, you know, I'm just watching Last Epoch while I'm going to work in the bus or whatever. I'm just lurking on people and just like seeing some people talk about the game. You can clearly tell that they don't really live their bubble and they don't really do research by the way they speak and the things they say. And I think it's so important. Like the game is actually, even though it's people claim the game is solved, precisely because now people are more knowledgeable and because the game is, there's more knowledge about the game, it's actually harder to make something that people care about. Like if you want to make a build that stands out, not only you have to be good at the game, but it's just like the competition and the what people are pulling out is just so good, right? Like I feel like before previous patches and stuff, there would be like new builds left and right every week. People would come with builds and there was no way to compare them. And now it's like no one's really making builds because again, it's harder than ever actually, you know, because people are getting so good. And if you're good enough and you put the research and you actually go and explore, you can do it. And proof are the builds with the new builds we talked about today, right? By other people. Like they've been there all along. Like they're not they're there to be played and to be discovered. So yeah, I think it's important to keep an eye on the meta and understanding it, even if you don't necessarily like it.
I'm cooking, by the way. I'm really cooking freaking Sacrificial Embrace, and I'm using some funky stuff. Yeah, dude, I'm using a unique idol. Can you believe this? What is this?
Oi. Unique idol.
Every third fire spell you cast is guaranteed to crit, but has 36% less crit multi. You get guaranteed
fire
with the
thing,
Sacrificial Embrace. Like,
okay, what is this black hole?
And then you get the Valiant's Chariot Boots,
is it
and
black
then you
hole?
get the BBC for the Void Pen per dex.
Oh, the BBC every build all of a sudden. What is this?
Oh, no, it's
Runic Advocate, Fundamental Criterion, freaking scaling more damage per dex as well. We'll see.
Ooh, I see what you're trying to think, actually. Okay,
I'm cooking. Putting this in the microwave.
Okay.
It might be absolute dog crap, but we'll see. You know, you never know until you try.
Hey, true, I guess.
yeah.
All right, guys. So I think we can call it a day. You know. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Vision, for coming out and and just sharing a bit of what you've been working on in the shadow, so people get to see you too. You've been doing a lot of work, so thank you. And thank you for my
me.
yeah. Thank you very much. to joining the mafia, you know, and
Yeah,
and yeah,
thanks, Maxroll Mafia. Yeah, thank you,
yeah.
thank you.
And thank you for my other two companions, the two goons, you know.
The
Now,
goons.
yeah, we're gonna go rob a bank now. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In game. No,
In game,
no
of
FBI
course.
needed.
Steal some builds, you know. Boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This will be on YouTube as always, and let us know actually what topics shall we cover next patch. No, what topics? So yeah, thank you for watching,
Yep.
and bye bye.
See ya.
GG.
Yeah.